Quick win pricing strategies. Hello, I'm Bernard Keevy. I'd like to explain some strategies you can implement straight away to actually increase the average revenue you get every time you make a sale. So here we have what's called a supply curve, and the supply curve basically says that the higher the price on this axis here, the more you'd expect people to be able and willing to supply to the market to sell. So what happens is the amount for sale, available for sale, gets bigger as the price rises. So that's one half of what's called market forces. The other half is this thing here called a demand curve, and what this says is that the higher the price you charge, the less you'd expect to sell, and as you lower your price you'd expect to sell more because people are more likely to buy. And where the two cross, that's what's called the market equilibrium price. Now, most people don't know what their demand curve actually looks like, but they fear, particularly if they're in what's called a commodity market, i.e. there's very little to set them apart from their competitors, they fear that it looks like this, which basically means that you've got quite a low price here, and you're also in what's called a price competitive market. And what that means is that if you try and raise your prices here up a bit, you lose a lot of volume because it's what's called elastic demand. And the problem you've got also is you can't really lower your price to capture market share, which you'd think would work, because everyone in this market has driven down the price so much because it's a price competitive market that margins are so small that you can't really lower your price to try and get more market share because you'll be losing money. And this is called elastic demand, and this is called a commodity, and this is typically where there's very little to separate you from your competitors other than the price. Now you need to get away from that, and the way to get away from that is by differentiating yourself. So this one here is called differentiated demand. And what this means is that there's something about what you offer which appeals to a specialist target market, so you're positioning yourself as an expert or a specialist, and basically they see you as standing up apart from the others, so you're not competing on price. And that has two effects. It means you can charge more price, a higher price, and you'll sell more because you're seen as the specialist or the expert in your target market. And you end up making more profit because you've got a higher price and a higher quantity. So the first golden rule is you need to be able to differentiate yourself so that you stand apart from your competitors, so that you're not in this commodity market here, you're in this differentiated market here where you're seen as a market leader. And this is known as inelastic demand, because here you could even put your prices up, and although you'll lose some custom, proportionately you'll lose less. So you could put your prices up, say 10%, and only lose 5% volume, which means you actually make money by putting your prices up and selling to fewer customers. So that's the first strategy, an obvious strategy that everyone should go for. Identify your perfect target customer and position yourself as an expert or a specialist and stand out from your competitors so you're not competing on price. But it goes further than that, and this is where it gets quite interesting, I think, because here we have this market equilibrium price, which basically says that's the price that you pay for this product and that's how much is going to be sold. But the interesting thing is that over here on this demand curve, you've got people who would have paid a higher price, it's just that you'd have sold to fewer people. And as you lowered the price to get to this market price here, you've drawn more customers to you. What that means is that there's a whole load of customers over here who would have paid higher prices for your product if they'd have had to, but they haven't had to because they can buy it at the market price. And that's called consumer surplus. And the interesting thing there is that if you could segment those customers out, you can offer them different propositions, which means that they will pay you more than the market price. So you can do things like have an upsell. So an upsell is where you sell a larger amount. So you could argue that's selling more volume more than price, but you're still getting more annual, actual average revenue in. So you can have an upsell, you can have a cross-sell. Now an upsell is where McDonald's say, would you like to go large with that? A cross-sell is, would you like fries or would you like, an apple pie with that? A cross-sell, you buy a laptop, would you like a laptop bag and software package? Shoes and shoe polish. An upsell is in a coffee shop, they try and sell you the large mug rather than they call it the standard, don't they, I think? Or the medium, which really means small. You can also do what's called bundling. Now, bundling basically means that instead of keeping your prices competitive or even discounting, what you do is you bundle in extra value, and because the extra value sets you apart, you can actually charge a higher price. Because people want value rather than price. The only reason they shop on price is if they can't really see anything else that differentiates you on value. So adding in extra value is always beneficial, because that is always better than discounting or keeping your prices low. And you can also have packaging. If you had a platinum, gold, silver packages, for example, you'll find that possibly a third to a half will go for the middle one and some will go for the top one, which basically means that at the moment everyone's going for your standard offering. That means you'll get people going for the higher offerings. So all of those things work, and that's why they work, because of this thing called consumer surplus. Now, the other interesting thing is, if you go to this market equilibrium price here, all that means is that you'll sell this much at that price, but there are people over here on your demand line who would have bought from you if the price was lower. So that's why you need a downsell, because if you have a lower price offering for them, they'll come in and buy here, and then you can nurture them all the way up here, because it's 6 times cheaper and easier to sell to existing customers. So you nurture these existing customers by a drip campaign, by repeated pieces of information to help them decide to buy. And you nurture them all the way up here till eventually they end up as part of your upsells and cross-sells and bundlings and packaging people up here. So you can see that all of these strategies work, and this is why they work. It's because of this idea of consumer surplus and this idea that the people who buy here are buying at this price, but you've got others who will buy at a lower price. So if you think that's interesting, if you go to coachforprofit.com, have a look at a video there. You might know someone who's interested in becoming a business coach. And the other thing that's worth being aware of is, because of these policies which always work, these strategies which always work, I can offer a 200% return on investment guarantee from month 1 to any coaching clients I work with. And what's more, anyone who's interested in becoming a business coach, or if you're an accountant interested in offering coaching services, you go for coachforprofit.com. You'll see a very interesting proposition, but we'll also train you so that you too can offer this 200% return of investment guarantee and feel very confident about it. You feel quite relaxed and confident about it because you know you can do it. So that's Bernard Keavy showing you how a basic understanding of marketing principles and economic principles explains why these pricing strategies work for any business. Hope you found that useful. If you did, if you could like it, share it, and visit coachforprofit.com/Bernard, I should have said, coachforprofit.com/Bernard. That would be great. Thanks very much for watching. To find out how to apply these strategies in your business, go to my Sales Accelerator Roadmap. I'll produce a free assessment of your marketing using an algorithm program and produce a 12-page detailed report. We'll recommend in priority order exactly what you should be doing, when you should be doing it, and how to do it. So go to www.bernardkeavymentor.com and sign up for my free Sales Accelerator Roadmap. You'll see this screen. It'll show you the Sales Accelerator Roadmap, which is free today. It'll show you how to fix your marketing, increase your sales and profits. It'll take less than 45 minutes to do, and our software will pinpoint all your opportunity areas and show you exactly what to do to improve your marketing and grow your business. So go to www.bernardkeavymentor.com and click on the green button, and you'll see that it says there it's a free process, so there's no credit card involved, there's no charge. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you found that useful, and I'd like to see you at the Sales Accelerator Roadmap. Thank you very much for watching this video.